Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, being a former college football coach, I learn a lot in these hearings. Mushrooms, spotted lanternflies, but hey, turnip greens are right up my alley, Mr. Wingard. So thanks for bringing, and collards. You didn't bring that up. I'm kind of disappointed, but that's all right. You know, in Alabama, my home state is, we have 3,500 specialty crop farms and 60,000 acres, and growing, and hope we continue to grow, Mr. Carter. My concern is we're losing our generations of farmers. We're selling out because we can't make any money. Some can, some can't. But I think specialty crops are going to be a boom for us. And we talked about the SNAP program and farmers markets and all those things where people can actually make money with what they do. And in this farm bill, we got to prioritize what we're doing, safeguards for the small farmer, not just the big farmer. And we got to have competitive markets. Mr. Wingard, I want to ask you about this. In Alabama, we have 200 farms that utilize H-2A programs, temporary and seasonal workers. And if we didn't have that, they couldn't survive, okay? And now we've started this adverse effect wage rate program that determines wages for the H-2A. And we're going up, 14% this year, and I think it's going to cost us $8 to $10 million, our farmers. Give me your thoughts on that.
Okay, well, first of all, it's going to cost you more than eight or 10 million.
I'm just talking about for our state.
I'm talking about for your state, too. It will be
really?
a higher cost than that.
Don't hurt my feelings now.
Well, you should know, first of all.
Farmers are listening to this, by the way. So
collards is my biggest crop. I didn't mention that. I'm a Tiger letterman. My blood runs orange. I was on the football team at Clemson.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I was just a water boy.
Yeah. Well, you took everything from us at Auburn, the mascot and everything. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. But anyway, the H-2A is a serious concern to us. It is it's literally an obstacle, and one of the regulatory burdens you've heard about here today. Our H-2A wage rate in South Carolina is right at $15 an hour. We had the 14% pay raise too. In Pennsylvania, I think it's $17. In Michigan is $17, $18. We don't know as producers how it's set. We don't know what it is till about the 10th, maybe the 5th or 10th of December, and it goes into effect January 1st. And if we bring workers in on November 1st for 10 months, and we sign a contract, everybody agrees to the contract, then on January 1st, the wage goes up. So the contract really doesn't apply to the wages. It is it's becoming a disincentive for farmers to try to do it the right way as it speaks to labor. My business model, in my business, labor is about 35% of our total expenses. So that 15% wage rate we took in December, 5% fell straight to the bottom line. And when you have long-term contracts, such as larger growers do, buyers don't really care about what our wages did or what our costs did. We agreed to the contract, and they expect us to deliver at that price. So now we have to cut costs somewhere else.
What's the answer?
The answer is fixing the labor program, fixing the H-2A, having some serious reforms in the H-2A program.
Anybody else got a thought on that? H-2A? Anybody? Nobody? All right, thank you very much. Mr. Carter, the adjusted gross income and other forms of means testing disproportionately impact specialty crop producers from participating in certain USDA disaster programs, like the non-insured crop disaster assistance, tree assistance program. However, the emergency relief program does not have a cap on AGI, allowing specialty crop producers opportunities for large payments to compensate for their losses. What's your thoughts on instituting a waiver of the AGI means for tests for the NAP and the TAP disaster programs, which operations derive at least 75% of their income from farming and forestry? What impact would that have on family farms and specialty crop growers?
Generally, I think that having the AGI limits on any of these benefits seems counterproductive. I'm not personally knowledgeable. I don't have any direct experience in that situation, but it seems that taking the most profitable, which typically in a free market enterprise means the most successful and the best at what they do, and telling them that they're not eligible to have risk mitigation, doesn't stand to reason to me.
Anybody want to comment? Anybody else?
I agree with your thoughts, and I think that the AGI means testing is punishing those who did the best, those who took the risk, grew, reinvested in their company. I think the AGI means testing punishes them.
I got one more question. Mr. Weingard, or Mr. Carter, or anybody, our southeast fruit and vegetable growers are impacted by cheap imports from countries that do not adhere to our nation's environmental and labor laws. Neither the USMCA or the International Trade Commission has resolved these issues. Growers continue to see Mexican and South American imports hit grocery stores at the same time as U.S. harvest, decreasing the price our farmers receive for their products. Should this be addressed in the Farm Bill, and any recommendations? Anybody?
So, Coach, the domestic producers, U.S. domestic producers, have high cost to produce our food because of regulations and high standards, and those costs, we invest in our people, our process, and our facilities in order to achieve those standards and to meet the regulations. If the Farm Bill wants to address that, and I think that's fine to do, then we need tools like market development. We need money for research and technology. We need access to better crop enhancement materials so we can spend $25 an acre on weed control with an effective herbicide instead of $225 or $325 an acre using hand pulling. We call that pullet. Mm-hmm. We need access to robotics. We need research on robotics, robotic weed control, robotic weeders, robotic transplanters, which is what we're looking at. And we need varieties that are improved varieties that have better disease resistant, drought resistant, pest resistance, and other ways that can help us offset the cost of our production.
Basically, you need the tools to be able to compete.
We need more tools in the toolbox, yes, sir.
Yeah.
More plays in the playbook.
The organic demand right now in the United States far exceeds the supply we're able to put into it domestically. So we would love to get those farmers a higher premium for the crops that they're growing by transitioning them to organic. And that could be a huge boost to those local communities, and it's a sustainable way to build those communities. The demand is definitely there.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.